Steve Knock from DoraHacks. Steve is the ecosystem and venture partner at DoraHacks, and I'm going to give him a heck of an intro here, so sit back. So DoraHacks is building and supporting the hacker movement and one of the largest Web3 developer incentive programs out there. DoraHacks provides key infrastructures connecting devs with grants and other crucial resources from leading Web3 ecosystems like Aptos, Cosmos, Polygon, Binance, and Avalanche. DoraHacks has helped 4,000 startups raise over 40 million in grants. Wow, that's serious, with an aim to double this in 2023. Startups from the Dora community include Skylock, Momentum Safe, Econia, ETHSign, Zekri, Phaeton, Arena, the Dora Factory, Functionland, CryptoSat, Manta Network, Blue, and many, many others. Steve, I'm so happy to have you today. And you've asked me to introduce you as the Swag Subnet Asian Dude, TSSAD. So welcome to the Subnet Summit, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Nathan, for having me. We have been in chat with Landslide team since I think a while, and I do believe we're both a very, very big believer and a supporter of the app-chain thesis very excited about the upcoming, I think, expansion of Subnet for Avalanche, but also I think the whole app-chain thesis and the whole Web3 ecosystem. So I think today I'm very happy to have this opportunity to share a little bit more about why we think app-chain is going to be the most important narrative. I do believe you have heard a lot about it in the previous sessions hosted by Nathan with other partners, other validators in this space. So Nathan, you think it's okay if I share my screen?
Of course,
here?
Yeah.
Awesome.
If it's often blurry if you share the screen, but if you upload the PDF file, it's very clear.
Oh, let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, do I? Oh yeah, upload. Got it.
Yep.
This one. It's uploading right now.
Cool.
So yeah, actually in the past, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, actually in the. Let's see if I can mute this.
Yeah, as long as it's muted or like under a pillow or something.
Yeah. Just put it on a pillow. So yeah, in the past few months, I think I have. I can still hear myself in the space. You think it's better if I?
As long as you turn the volume all the way down and just throw it under a pillow or a sofa or something, it should be all right.
Got it. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So
did the upload come through? I'll give you the screen.
Yeah, I think it's processing right now. Okay. So yeah, in the past few months, we have been talking with a lot of teams actually, and I think we're at this like very critical point where actually a lot of the apps in the space are facing this choice of first they're multiple layer ones that they can deploy on themselves, and for a lot of those early stage apps, oh, it just went through. So yeah. So yeah. So for a lot of those apps, they have multiple choices. The L1s that they can actually deploy from. For a lot of the L1s, they are relatively more like the competitive landscape here is crazy. For if you're a game and if you want to launch on Polygon or Binance, you face like very, very like big competition from like many strong teams globally. And also like that's also true for Ethereum. If you're a DeFi protocol, Ethereum is supposed to be the best playground for you, as in that like the most capital is there. the most users are there. So if you want to boost your TVL, bootstrap your user base, you would want to deploy directly on Ethereum, or you want to deploy on one of those Ethereum rollups where it's easy for the users to bridge the liquidity from Ethereum to the rollups, like Arbitrum or Optimism, etc. Yeah, and for some of the smaller layer ones, I would say like it might be easier for you to stand out, but the ecosystem support that you'll get is relatively less because they have smaller community, they have a smaller TVL in their ecosystem. So essentially, the support that you can get to bootstrap your initial growth are relatively limited. Or what's I think really good right now is that the app chain infrastructures are ready. So I think this is what we are mainly talking about. We have been rigorously researching, like I mean, DoraHacks. We have been rigorously researching into the app chain infrastructures, including Cosmos, Avalanche, and recently I think Polygon have SuperNet, which is also the app chain infrastructure, and Ethereum layer 3s, meaning that you can leverage OP, Stack, and Arbitrum to easily launch a rollup on top of that. And also modular blockchains like Celestia, Saga, and a few others, Dimension. Before I jump into like our discussion about the app chain thesis, like our thinking, I think it would be great if I introduce DoraHacks a little bit more. We're actually one of the first developer or hacker organization originated from Asia. That's true. We started in 2014, so this is actually a 9-year-old org or 9-year-old company right now. And what we do is that right now we work with our ecosystem partners and work with them to provide the best support to developers, mainly in the form of like grants and hackathon prizes. I think we run hundreds of hackathons annually with multiple partners. And I do believe a lot of ecosystem projects, actually amazing projects and unicorns, actually all participated in DoraHacks Hackathon before. Like Polygon, when they were still Matic, they participated in a hackathon in Bangalore, India in 2018 as one of the 4 brightest like Indian projects back then. And some of the other projects you might heard of, including ETH Sign, a decentralized DocuSign, they were lead invested by 3 Sequoias, and also Manta Network in the ZK realm. But also a lot of the earliest actually parachains in the Polkadot ecosystem, and a lot of the early Solana projects like Solend, OneSoul, Steppen, they have all participated in DoraHacks at day one on their like
Amazing.
initial.
I did not know that. That's thrilling.
Yeah. So while we are actually actively growing our infrastructures to support developers in the form of grants and everything, we have actually been like rigorously researching into what will be the next, I think, most important narrative for developers, because we want them to catch up the trend. We want to provide them the best, I think, thesis for them to build their startup on as well. It really matters because if we work with the infrastructures that will thrive, there's a higher chance for those developers to succeed. And if we're working with infrastructures that's eventually going to die out, it didn't really work. It won't really work out well for our developers as well. So we want to help them in the best way we can. So actually, after researching a ZK into liquid staking and into like some of the other narratives, actually like this option narratives, what we believe is going to be most important in the next few years. This actually are supported by a few cases, just naming a few here. So I think the growth of like any Web3 protocol or like Web3 application, I think it's actually easy for them to launch in the form of smart contract on a specific blockchain layer one on day one. You just a few lines of code. You don't have to worry about organizing a whole blockchain. That's crazy, right? On day one, it might be like very scary and very costly. But if you just write a smart contract, I think like from what we see, you just go to a hackathon, write a few line of code. I definitely need to do audits, but after that, you better the product, they should be good to go. You see Uniswap, you see Compound, Aave, early DYDX, and Injective. They're actually all apps on Ethereum. And if you see like the growth of AWS is that first, Amazon needed to have a strong backstage. I think a place where they can store all the information and for the workflow of the backstage, like to work like in a very like easy way. So they build their whole backstage themselves backend, and essentially they find out that they have built a really powerful software that actually any e-commerce platform can use, not just AWS themselves, but like I can also provide this service probably to Alibaba or to the other e-commerce platforms, to eBay. And then they find out that hey, my backend doesn't really like are limited to e-commerce. I can provide this service to maybe Google as well, or to some other platforms. So if you see like the scale of AWS is that first is needed by Amazon. That Amazon think the other backend service provided by the market is not good enough for them anymore. So they want to build their own backend. And then they figure out that, hey, I can provide my backend service. I have built a powerful cloud technology that everyone can use from. Then they slowly scale their cloud team to like mass adoption. I think this could happen to every like powerful app, because like Amazon is a powerful app. It's an e-commerce app actually. And if you see apps in right now like DYDX and everyone, right now it's a powerful app. It lives on Ethereum. Used to live on Starkware actually, but when they're on Starkware, I do believe a lot of you have heard this a lot, but they have to do revenue split with the infrastructure. Like people have to pay transaction fee and swap fee and MEV fee. Only one portion of that is to DYDX, and a lot of that is going to the layer one that they live on. And how much value add do the layer one give them is really uncertain, especially in the current market. The help that layer one can provide to a specific app, I think it's really limited. So we envision like for apps like DYDX, like they're already successful in Web3 in a way. They have I think a very robust user base. They have a very strong TVL and transaction volume. What they have decided is that they're going to launch an app chain for themselves. And in the future, like when they further build the infrastructure, I think they can also host some other, I think really capable perpetual trading protocols, not just for DYDX, but they can build an ecosystem for themselves, leveraging the infrastructure to build maybe more. I think there could be like kind of forks of DYDX, but specialize in a specific feature. I think there can be like not just perps, but also other kind of DeFi protocols to be implemented on the DYDX chain in the future. But also like are settled by DYDX token and DYDX network, denominated by DYDX token. I think those are all very interesting cases.
Well, yeah, just before you move on from that, we interviewed Chorus One earlier a couple days ago, who has the same app chain thesis, right? They think they support the idea that Cosmos creates modular blockchains, Avalanche creates them, and their sort of key takeaways are that dividing execution, settlement, consensus, and data availability in Cosmos is sort of the best ecosystem to set up your own particular app chain.
Yeah, I think modular blockchain really connects. First, like modular blockchain enables the best part of each blockchain to be like combined for like different kind of services. I think like Celestia is really trying to have a consensus layer and data availability layer on Celestia, but you can have the settlement layer and execution layer on your own blockchain, like customized high performance blockchains like Avalanche or Solana or like Aptos or Sui maybe in the future. And that really enables multi-chain world to work with each other. And if you have like assets on different chains, I guess it will be easier for you to also like bridge your assets from the native chain to the new chain that you're building, and you're actually leveraging the best part of different technologies. I do think that's nascent. Like you haven't seen like too many successful examples just yet, but I think it's definitely a very interesting, I think a very interesting concept to actually try it out for the new developers. Like if you're looking for building something cool, this could be an interesting way to build a startup. Yeah, and if you like, I do think that Chorus One is actually one of the I think very reputable validators in the space, and I do read that the Delphi article on why they also are very bullish on app-chain thesis, because they compared multiple ecosystems. And if you're building a rollup on Ethereum right now, which is very hot in the Ethereum community, is that those rollups only have one sequencers right now, and even for the ZK rollups, I think they're still like very very nascent.
That's right,
You,
sir.
you
That is
can't
right.
you can't build like too much there. So Cosmos or like Avalanche in the future have a much more decentralized validator set, right? We can validate a blockchain landslide in the future. Chorus One can validate a blockchain. I think that's actually better. This is why we think the current Cosmos, and I think in the future Avalanche, could be a very very interesting community that have a similar level of decentralization of Ethereum mainnet, but also they have the high performance blockchain features that everyone needs when it comes to trading and stuff. So how we are approaching the app-chain thesis is that I will introduce this later with our public good staking model, where we run validators for different app-chains, but we redistribute the validator proceeds to the developers in that ecosystem in the form of grants, hackathon prizes, bounties. We have been implementing that model in multiple ecosystems.
Yeah, so this is amazing. Like you guys should have, this kind of banner all over your social media. So I'm not even sure other validators do that. Are you the only validator or that you know of that does this sort of financing?
Yeah, I do think they are OGs that have done this before. We're definitely not the first one to do it. If you see Grand Fish, it's actually a branch of, I think, Steakfish.
Hmm.
They I think they actually have a pretty high commission rate of 100%. But I think they indeed distributed their validator proceeds to teams like Kepler and funded them when they were like initial phase in the bear market in the last bear market in 2019. So I do believe like some other validators also did that, but I think we're in a good position of doing this because we are already hosting hackathons. We already have this like massive developer community, and how we started this is that we actually are trying to figure out a way to sustainably fund them in the bear market, because like we were here in the last bear market. It was tremendously hard for us and for our developer community because essentially every ecosystem is like backing out in the bear market. They're limiting their spending, meaning that in the bull market they spend millions of dollars in hackathons and providing incentive to developers, but in the bear market they just become super conservative Like it's very hard for them to convince them to give any money to even a very, very good team. So we really figured out this way of, even though the foundation is not giving us any money from the foundation official side, we can still manage to distribute millions of dollars to early stage teams. Even like Landslide, you're still early. And you need like all kinds of support. And also congrats on the Interchain Foundation grant.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but there's more team that actually are even more early stage than Landslide,
Oh,
and they
totally.
need more support in the bear market because the VCs are pulling out as well. It's tremendously hard for them to raise any kind of money. So I think it's very important for brilliant teams, because if the funding is cut off, it means that the talent stream rushing into the space is cut off as well. Um, like in the bull market, it's very easy for developers at Facebook and Google to go to Web3 because there's actually more incentive for them to do that. And in the bear market, if they see that if I work at Google, I can make 500K every year, but if I go to Web3, I can't raise any kind of funding, I can't get any kind of support at all, then they will just stay at Google, I guess. So what we're really trying to do is to make sure that the early stage developers are properly supported, especially when they're very legit, they're building amazing idea, want them to be supported. So this is why we figure out public staking. We're already implementing that in multiple app chain infrastructures like Cosmos and app chains themselves. Um, I do hope that, I do believe that we will working very closely with Landslide in the future to support, I think, the intersection of Cosmos and Avalanche, and do more like, I think, grant programs and hackathons in the future to support early stage team that's very interested in the app chain thesis and can potentially join your ecosystem in the future as well.
Yeah, that we've allocated a ton of tokens specifically for that. Because
Yeah,
we're weirdly, like two L1s combined. So rather than do a massive V and become a VC chain, we're allocating airdrops for the community specifically to fix that issue.
that's actually great. I think it's a very smart strategy to make sure your initial community, your initial token holders are your builders, and your early stage supporters.
Yep.
And actually, like, running hackathons are a pretty smart strategy for yourself, as well as in you can easily reach out to hundreds of thousands of developers via one hackathon, but you don't actually have to spend a lot of marketing budget on it.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. I'd love to understand how the devs are responding to GPT and Auto GPT and Agent.
I do think that, if you go to a hackathon in 2022, you will find that most developers, with whatever their background is, they're really trying to build a crypto project. That's 2022.
Okay.
Like, you don't have to convince them.
Yeah.
But first hackathon I went to in 2023 in the States was a GPT hackathon. Like, I just landed, like, my friend told me, hey, I'm at an AI hackathon. You should come. It's a hacker house. And then, like, I went in there. Everyone is just trying to, like, implement GPT into, like, different projects. And
Yeah,
like,
dude.
there's, like, I was in Hong Kong yesterday, like, for the crypto conference, and I see, like, this T-shirt, like, Trade GPT. I guess it's that you can train the GPT to help you, like trade automatically, or like just write trading thesis for you. And I also, like, see the winner of East Denver this year. I think that's part of the Axelar team. Is that they implemented GPT with Axelar that you can just bridge by typing in a command that, please help me. Um, just type, please help me bridge 1,000 USDC from Avalanche to Cosmos.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what they will do is to pop out automatic, like, I think it's two boxes for you to fill in, like, how
Name of that
much.
protocol.
I forgot their name, but I will actually share this on Twitter later.
Cool.
I do have their name, but I don't have it, like, right now. Um, That's part of the Axelar team. I mean, the Squid team. I think they're using Squid
Oh,
to.
is it Squid?
I think it's a new product that implemented Squid technology behind Squid router behind
Yeah,
it.
we've spoken to Squid. I didn't realize they were the winner and they were somehow involved with GPT.
Yeah. They I think they implemented that in December, so it's like pretty fun.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
me drop a link here.
Yeah. And you can trade with GPT. I think because like starting from like later part of last year, I think we have been trying to I think everyone in the crypto space is trying to figure out a way that provides better user like interaction flow. Because like right now, how you can track all the on-chain transactions, you have to go to like Etherscan, like block explorers. If you want to track the NFT price movement, you go to OpenSea or LooksRare or X2Y2. If you want to check the token price, you go to CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. Like it's pretty broken,
Yep.
like for different part of like the purpose. But if you can do something like Google, like you just search everything via one box,
Yep.
and then it just pops out everything. That's great, and especially it's easier, I think, with ChatGPT right now. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
really
every time I talk to people about this, I think the future of crypto trading is GPT, and so
yeah.
we're gonna do an internal kickoff. Maybe we'll hook up with the hackathon, but we've got some algorithms through Opti. There's some cool stuff that we can do trading on GPT. I think we're gonna work on that.
That's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, because it's the meme. The meme of it matters, and the interface is so simple, right? The interface is not MetaMask. The interface is
Exactly.
text, like speech to
Exactly.
text.
Imagine like you're a normie, you just
Yeah,
got into Web3, and you could have this, or you go with the old way. You have to
right.
download MetaMask, have a bunch of seed phrase, and
And we're so used to that, like as OGs.
exactly.
Yeah,
But it's like so difficult for like say my mom.
yep,
Like my mom will say like, "What's a seed phrase?" and "What's the difference of Kepler wallet and MetaMask wallet? Why do I need to have both?"
yep.
And like should I put all my money on Binance or like
No, 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 custody, mom, custody.
yeah, like mom would say, well, "What's custody? Why this is so difficult? Like why this is so yeah, Binance product's great, right? Why can't I just use Binance?" Like they'll have this kind of question. So I really
No,
hope
you need to
that
keep
yeah,
to keep
like
your keys.
yeah, I really hope that the user interface can be so clean, so neat, and the interaction can be so easy. So I hope that there can be more mature products like this year.
Agreed.
Um, yeah, maybe build an AI app chain. I don't know. Um, but GPT is centralized. So
Yeah, but I don't care. Like
no,
it's so good, I don't care.
exactly. So this is the problem.
So,
Um, it's,
I guess we just haven't reached the point where we should care about it for a particular reason. There-
yeah,
Anthropic has other AI that is probably it's more ethical. Um, I
yeah.
don't want to go down the AI rabbit hole. I want to make sure that you get all of your talking points and slides.
Sure. I think that's actually mainly it.
Oh,
Um, um, just want to share we're very bullish on the app thesis. Um, very happy to see Landslide emerging as actually one of the first options in the space in the Cosmos ecosystem, and also in the Avalanche ecosystem. Um, I just actually chatted with the Avalanche team. Right now, if you want to launch a subnet on Avalanche, it's still permissioned. It's not completely permissionless
I
yet.
think it's permissionless.
Like did it happen in a few days ago, or
I,
I
I
think they
we
announced
just
it.
spun up a couple today, like on our at least on testnet, like we spun up a couple today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
From what I heard in February is that they want to make sure the first batch of subnets to be launched are quite good.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
But also, I also see a news. I just saw a news that they are trying to make it permissionless as well. because like their tech stack wasn't like so ready back in Feb. But I do think that you guys should be very capable to be the first batch of the subnets that they're highlighting in their ecosystem.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, our right now, just building the IBC Lite client is enough, and
Yeah,
then incentivizing people, because IBC will start communicating with Polkadot and Near and
yeah,
Ripple and like rollups, and so all of that stuff that I just mentioned is slower than Avalanche consensus, right?
yeah,
That's the critical flaw here that is kind of not well understood, but it'll be understood when the finality arbitrage happens across IBC, right? And
for sure. Yeah,
yeah, so that'll
yeah,
be super interesting, and it'll be a wild ride to see like a DYDX outpost, like an osmosis outpost, when as long as our stack is fully compatible. And right now like we just released our open source landslide core on Thursday,
yeah.
Friday. So yeah, like we're happy to have any feedback people want to share about it. And then we're going to open up our incentivized testnet to break it and do bug bounties, and yeah.
Amazing, amazing. We're always ready to support you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is pretty much it. I just see a future of where all the options are leveraging the different parts. Like you guys are essentially leveraging IBC so that you have the security and consensus layer of Cosmos. And also you have the speed and you have the scalability of Avalanche. I just see more of that to come. And you guys also have sovereignty for yourself, meaning that you can customize your blockchain in the
Yeah.
way you want, how your community wanted, and you can grow your own ecosystem, which is also very important. Your own set of validators as well. Yeah, so I'm very happy to like share. I think anyone that you're interested in option thesis, you're interested in supporting different kind of options like Landslide, feel free to reach out to us. And if you're building an option, also reach out to us. We'd love to support. We can help you bootstrap your developer community. And we are a very, very robust validator as well. And we're also a public goods validator where we help you grow ecosystem that way. We look forward to do more in Cosmos and also the Avalanche ecosystem this year, because I do see that as two most capable option infrastructures. And actually very happy to see Landslide in this intersection of this.
Well, wonderful. That's fair. Thank you for your kind words, Steve. Appreciate it. All right, we'd like to take some questions from the Twitter audience. So if you have a question in Twitter Spaces, put your hand up.
Sure.
Or if you're on YouTube Live, send us a question. Otherwise, I've got a couple more questions for Steve.
Good.
So if you guys have been around since 2014, what
Yeah.
about your money management skills kept you afloat in this winter?
Oh, thanks. This is actually a very, very good question. We really, really, really struggled in 2018, 2019. We really didn't actually prioritize having a very positive cash flow before. We're pretty much, just like however long we can support the developers, because supporting developers didn't really cost a lot of money. We are not here to write big checks to ourselves on day one. We're more saying like, hey, so long as we have the money, like the prize money to give to developers so that they can be seen and they can be supported by us, that's good. It's like for us to run a hackathon back in 2018, an in-person hackathon, say the one in India, including our flights to Bangalore in economy class and including all the prize money that we gave to 200 plus Indian developers. including the food we eat are those like vegetarian foods that like can cater to everyone in India. I think the whole hackathon only costed $8,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we run 31 hackathons, in-person hackathons in 2018. We're so glad to have our previous sponsor was actually Huobi. Huobi was the largest exchange in the world back in 2018. This like very early stage of Binance. So I raised some sponsorship from them and some from other like early supporters like Fambushi Capital, Hashkey Capital. They gave us, like Steve, I love what you guys are doing. Here's 3 Bitcoins. They just give us 3 Bitcoins, but Bitcoin was $3,000, back then. And we sold the Bitcoins, converted to, fiat so we can give to developers. But like right now, we really figured out that I think you need to have a strong and like robust money flow so that you can support developers better.
Well, I mean, like in particular, what kept you out of the toxic assets?
Like what do you mean?
Well, like a lot of people got wrecked from leverage, like 3
Oh,
Arrows got right.
Yeah.
A ton of people leveraged up. A ton of people bought toxic assets.
This is a good question. Like our strategy is actually like first, we're builders, not traders. So I know like we miss out a lot on that because like strategically or like ideally you should actually purchase assets in the bear market if you already know that this is a bear market. And I see Phantom Foundation is doing this. Andre just personally just very clearly write like how much Phantom token they bought back in the bear market so that they boosted their treasury in the bull market, right? This is how they did this kind of treasury management. But we had this suggestion or advice from a senior investor back in 2019 that if you're early stage startup, you shouldn't really care too much about your treasury management in the form of trading. Like you buy assets right now and then there's a pump and then you dump that so that you're financially better. You should really just focus on building because you could win money on trading. You can also lose money on trading. This is on the trading part. So for our side, we are very, very passive when it comes to treasury management. We just hold a lot of stables. Like this is true for our personal treasury management as well. But on the second side is that you have to be very, very alert because there are so many kinds of scams in the market. It's so easy for you to lose money if you're not familiar with anything. You can just put your money in FTX and your whole treasury is gone. You never know. And you can just put all of your money in MetaMask and your money can be gone because there are all kind of phishing scams and just gain access on your wallet.
Shout out to BitGo and other custodians.
Yeah. So I think you like for many times only after you lose a certain amount of money that you'll realize, hey, right. So like,
did you guys get like Mount Gox? Like what? There's something about your treasury management that kept you out of seriously toxic assets that a lot of people got wrecked.
Yeah. Just a few days ago, there was this USDC FUD, right?
Right.
Like
USDC FUD, that was a month ago, and our US banking system collapsed.
Exactly.
Then USDC and DAI depeg, and we're all running for the hills.
Yeah, I just like it's so fun to see a lot of people converted their USDC to DAI that day.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
That's because like they never knew that DAI is.
They didn't check what DAI was backed up with.
But before USDC depeg, you really didn't dig that much into like what's backing DAI. Like,
yeah,
I used to think that these should be ETH and like Ethereum assets, but like one of our team member like just like put a notice for everyone, hey, like FYI, DAI is backed by USDC actually, so you shouldn't really convert to DAI because like I think Justin Sun converted hundreds of millions of dollars of USDC to DAI that day. But yeah, like
But it sounds like you guys have some guardrails being developers and being so deep in the code that you know which assets to stay out of.
yeah, in general, I think there are definitely a lot of principles, a few principles that even you're just a newbie, you're just came to this space that you should know. Um, Custodians, like cold storage instead of like hot wallets, um, whether you trust centralized exchanges or not. So
Do
there's some,
not.
yeah,
Don't
there,
keep anything there.
yeah, I think there are a few 101s, I
Yeah.
think lessons for newbies, but more advanced trust management strategy. I still advise all the early stage team to focus on building your product. I know it's very hard to raise any kind of funding, but if you are a really good product, then I think you shouldn't worry too much about it. Like your growth is more important than your treasury management. Like at the early stage. In the future, like when you're Ethereum foundation, you need to worry more about it.
Yep. I agree, Steve.
Yep.
Well, we're coming up on the hour here. Like I don't have any other questions. This was a great interview. We'd be happy to interview other companies that you like that are focused in Cosmos or Avalanche from the Dora side. Be glad to do that.
Exactly. Actually, like I was in Hong Kong Blockchain Week last like until yesterday. Action is actually the biggest thesis right now. Like I told like a few close friends a few months ago that this will be big because like ZK and liquid staking is already hyped in the crypto space. I think it's like over hyped. But Action thesis is underrated. Like
Yep.
back 2 months ago or 3 months ago, a lot of like good projects are facing a hard time raising. But I think this will be fixed, like starting from this month and next month and in the near future. But I think options needs more attention from the community at this stage. But you also need to figure out as well how to bootstrap your own native community, how to bootstrap your own transaction TVL. This is very important because essentially you get your sovereignty, but you also lose the support from robust, powerful layer ones like Ethereum. So I think this is a question that every option will face in the future, but I'm not too worried about it. Yeah.
Done. Well, thank you so much for your time, Steve. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nathan, for hosting me on your Sunday evening. You should go out, grab a beer, enjoy the rest of the day. And I look forward to work more closely with you in our joint efforts in the Avalanche ecosystem, also in Cosmos.
Agreed. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Take care.
Take care.